We live in a society, and I feel that we as a society have become so removed from death and the realities of it that we have turned it into a spectacle to be consumed and memified. Hi friends, hi, my name is Mia, thank you for watching. This is my virtual vanity, a place where we both love makeup and are quite critical of it, and today I'm doing a bit of a combo video. Today I want to talk about how I genuinely want to abolish the makeup and true crime video genre, as well as reviewing some YESSTYLE skincare, some makeup I got on my trip to Sweden, basically a get ready with me. Am I a hypocrite for criticizing these people for putting makeup and talking about death and true crime while I'm also putting on makeup and criticizing them? Maybe, but you know what? A bit of hypocrisy is the spice of life. I want to do a couple of disclaimers before I start. I know everyone is sick of YouTubers and disclaimers, but sometimes you just gotta lean into the cliche and just do what you gotta do. First disclaimer is that if you enjoy makeup and true crime videos, I am not judging you, because God knows reality is cruel and existence is a pain, and we all do whatever we can to deal and entertain ourselves. So I don't care about what you personally watch. I also am not doing this video to attack any particular creator. I watched a few. I don't really follow any of them because of my distaste for the genre. So this is not aimed at XYZ person who does this. It's not a personal attack. It's just me criticizing the genre as a whole and talking a bit why I find it distasteful. I realize that the world doesn't have to cater to my scale of morality, sense of right and wrong, etc. So just take this as a personal opinion of mine that you can ignore or think about and do whatever the fuck you want to do with your life. Okay, moving on. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. So I'm going to talk about the Inssakit from YESSTYLE, which had a bunch of skincare, 2 pieces of makeup, some self-care type of stuff. I'm also going to put on some makeup that I got in Sweden. After I'm done with my initial skincare, I'm going to start talking about why I despise makeup and true crime videos. So there will be timestamps, depends what you're interested in. And oh my god, we're at the 3-minute mark. I need to just hurry up because before you guys get bored and click out of the video, and I wouldn't blame you. Let's start by doing some skincare. The first thing that I always do is I take a bit of water and splash it on my skin. So I either wash my face and then I leave the water dripping, or I take a little sprayer thing. I also got 2 serums, which I have been really enjoying. Cleve Ginseng Berry Premium Ampoule, which I really like for nighttime. But right now I'm going to use the Beauty of Joseon Repair Serum that has ginseng root and snail mucin and deeply nourishes and hydrates, and God knows I need it because I woke up with my face really dry and tight because I ignored doing my skincare yesterday night because they suck. Then I'm going to top it off with the moisturizer that I got in the Inssakit, and this is the Honey Reishi Nourishing Cream from Daily Mellow. And I really like that this is like a cream to gel type formula, and it's not too thick, not too thin. It is heavily scented as well. It's got like a medicinal scent. And then going to follow with the Tir Collagen Lifting Eye Cream. This is so good. It's so nourishing. The only problem that I have, it has this frog. It has this ball dispenser that I can't use directly. It feels like I'm poking my eye socket out, so I just need to grab it with a finger or something. A bit of sculpting and face massage with this Beauty in Us roller. I already have one type of roller. I have like a rose quartz one that I keep using because it does actually make a difference for me in the morning. I do tend to retain water and puff up, and these just do make a difference for me. So to do the massage, first of all I start with my under eyes, and I take the tiny bit here and just gently roll it from one end to the other. You want to roll it till the edge of the face so lymphatic drainage starts to happen. I know some people say it doesn't have any benefits, but it does feel nice, so there is that. Just gently, not a lot of pressure. You don't need to press on it like one of those road rollers. Then I go with the big roller, forehead, up top, gently. Ah, it's cold. I forgot how cold these things are. Sides of the face, cheekbone area, hollow out the cheekbones, and drag down to the side of the neck. Then jawline, and drag down to the side of the neck to promote that supposed draining. And a little bit on the marionette lines. I'm already starting to develop a bit of a marionette line thing going on, which means I guess that I've smiled a lot in my life and that I've also frowned a lot. It means I felt a lot, I guess. Blessed to be aging, because I did not think I was going to live past 20 something for the longest time. Okay, while I let the skincare sit and do its thing for a couple of minutes, let me start on why I highly dislike makeup and true crime videos. And I think this needs a bit of a background, because the way that they were born, created into existence, needs, I feel, a particular social cultural conjuncture. I was reading Caitlin Doughty's Ask a Mortician on YouTube's books a while ago, and she talks a lot about the death industry and how this sort of affected our relationship with death. And it hit me how far removed from actual death we are, to the point where people feel comfortable to deny death in the middle of a literal plague. And also, this is, again, a reason for why people feel comfortable discussing in details the gruesome murders of people they do not know, while applying fake lashes and liquid lipstick, and while also joking about it or bringing an unwanted and, I feel, inappropriate levity to the situation, while also using the stories of something tragic for a family, people that got hurt, dehumanizing those murder victims and using them as props to gain views. And I feel this happens only in the context in which we are so removed from the process of death that we have commodified it in our social media and regular media. We have commodified gruesome deaths and crime for ratings, for clicks. And truly, the girlies, the makeup girlies that do makeup and true crime videos are just one facet of a shitty kaleidoscope of symptoms that show that we as a society do not give death the gravitas that it needs. It's just that there has to be a healthy middle ground between stopping whatever you do when an unknown person dies and kikiing about it over makeup. Okay, let's start doing the makeup. I'm going to apply the Video Lumi Layer Primer, which is one of my favorite luminizing primers, followed by the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation, and I am in shade Y218. I really like this. This is so sheer and dewy, and I love how my skin looks so plump and hydrating after all of that just beautiful, luxurious skincare, and it just mixes so well with the foundation. I feel like a glowy goddess. It's going to be followed by the Isadora Compact Powder, and this is in neutral ivory, and I use that on my nose. I've got a portion of my nose that I just scratched and nothing will stick on it, but otherwise this really covers very well the Eastern European auntie nose redness. Followed by concealer. The things to note in the concealer application is that I am applying it on the outer corner of the eye to lift it, and on the marionette lines, or well, the beginning of some marionette lines, to just lighten the area up and bring them a bit to the surface so they don't show up as much anymore. And then I'm going to be following with my favorite loose powder, the Revlon Candide in 001, very beautiful, finely milled drugstore powder. So what do I mean when I say that death has been commodified and that we are psychologically and physically removed from it? So think back a couple of hundreds of years ago, where everyone mostly lived in small towns, in the case of Europe, sometimes villages, hamlets, that sort of thing. When somebody in your family would die, you wouldn't call necessarily a funerary service, you wouldn't necessarily take them to a hospital, they wouldn't die in an environment where someone else would take care of the body. You, as the family, would have to take care of the body and interact with that body until the time it was for it to be buried. In some cultures, there are a lot of amazing and interesting death practices where the dead person is kept in the house for any number of days. For example, in Romania, in some locations, you keep the dead person in the house for 3 days. You cover all of the mirrors so soul doesn't get spooked by the reflection or doesn't get trapped in the mirror. You close all windows so the soul doesn't escape, stuff like that. Or there's a period of viewing the body in the church, like open casket style, where you are basically hit with the reality that your loved one is dead, and that interaction firsthand with death, that kind of gives you a grudging respect for Lady Death. And I feel that with this Western model of people, the body dies in a hospital, or the body dies and it's immediately ASAP picked up by a funeral house to be dealt with, we've removed ourselves from the gravitas of death, and it's helped us commodify it and use it as a sensationalist prop. In regular media, when you see death and violence on screen, you are removed from it. You don't quite register it as real because those people that die on the media are props. So we see dead people in media all of the time with these big cases followed and presented in a way, a sensationalistic way that is made to bring the TV show's ratings. And then you have got social media where, again, it's those people, because you don't know them and you're removed from the empathetic situation of someone's family is suffering something incredibly tragic and they're personally affected by, like, you don't quite register it. So it's a spectacle, it's a telenovela. It's a telenovela with dead people. And maybe that weren't as bad if it just was, you know, factual, presenting a timeline. But I feel that a lot of true crime podcasts, including Makeup and True Crime, really treat it like a telenovela where the dead person is not the subject but the object, where the dead person is the deceased. God, I should have used the deceased all along. The deceased is used as a prop in this bigger narrative as opposed to the subject of a huge tragedy and of cruelty done to them. They talk about the criminal, they talk about the setting, they gossip about the family, they gossip about the circumstances, and they actually, you know, talk of substance very little about this person that is now gone from the world. It's basically dead people telenovela, but without the deceased being the main character. The main character is almost always the criminal, and they psychoanalyze them and treat them as sort of this fascinating person, this sort of fascinating puzzle. And it's just like, yeah, there may be a puzzle, but they're a puzzle in a pile of shit. You are basically idolizing, in some cases, someone that just snuffed out alive on a whim or premeditatively. They focus a lot on the perpetrator, on their circumstances, and the family and the deceased, the people that are actually affected by this situation. They're used as props. And I honestly think that is just a little sick. Going in with eyeshadow, I'm going to use the Minest Duo in Afternoon. This actually shattered in transit, the shimmery part, and I repressed it with Duraline. So far, so good. The shadow hasn't dried down. Why did I repress it with Duraline? Well, I didn't have any isopropylic alcohol, and I also don't have any impulse control, and I wanted to see what would happen. But it's performing really well so far. And this is a really nice little duo for someone that likes sparkly things and bright orange. Not something I would have purchased myself, but it's cute. It's cute. And I feel it's one thing when you're talking about crimes that are old, where the immediate family died off and there's no one to see your video. But if you're talking about someone murdered a couple of years ago, or even a decade ago, or just months ago, it feels like they're being vultures. It feels very vulture-like behavior. Not only that, but their family eventually might come across at you picking at their loved one's carcass reviews while you are talking about the latest highlighter from Ofra or something. And I don't find that particularly healthy or respectful behavior. Like, I know that if someone dear to me died and I saw an influencer just do makeup and talk about new releases or whatever while talking about my dead one as if they're just an object in the criminal's story to power, I would want to make that influencer swallow their teeth, unironically. Not only that, but you're basically picking at a fresh wound. People don't get over someone dear to them dying in a horrific and violent way easily or at all. So why are you talking about someone's loved one as if they're just a prop in a story you do while doing makeup? No matter how respectful it is, I still find it wrong. It's again this whole situation of commodifying death. Like, if you wouldn't talk about, I don't know, a family member of yours personally that got brutally murdered while doing your makeup, why do you dare to do that with someone else's loved one? Who gives you that right to do that? Going to use the Keep in Touch Nude Dazzling Jelly Cream Blush. This is a really nice fresh color. It blends so well. I really like it. Also, I find it absolutely sinister how some of these beauty influencers are talking about true crime with like a smile on their face while they're basically beautifying themselves. You are doing a ritual that makes you more beautiful, or looking more creative or whatever. You aren't doing it to pay respects to the dead in any sort of situation on YouTube. So you're basically just putting on makeup and chit-chatting about someone's gruesome murder. It's macabre, to say the least. Vulture behavior. For bronzer, I'm going to use the MAC Bronze Bronzing Powder from MAC. A friend declared this to me. She said that it was patchy on her and didn't blend well. I don't find that I have this problem, but also Tentalia gave it absolute shit reviews. So I think I'm just in the minority that this works fine for me. That or this blush brush is just absolute magic. Then I'm going in with the Lumene Natural Glow highlighters, and this is in One Luminous Glow. And I'm going to do something a bit out of character and do a black lip using a Neve Cosmetics lip pencil in Rainy Days and the Sephora Collection lipstick in Nightbird. Haven't done a black lip in quite a while, so let's see if I still like how it looks on myself. I think I did a pretty banging job with this black lipstick. 14-year-old me would be very proud I was living that emo Lady of Darkness life back then. This is the makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed the review and the mini rant. I still think it's a bit hypocritical of me to criticize them while also doing my makeup, but I really don't have a lot of time to film with return to office and everything, so I'm really trying to shoot two birds with one stone and do a lot in as much time as I can, you know what I mean? Anyway, in conclusion, I find makeup and true crime videos to be sinister. They're a symptom of us commodifying death, of being completely removed from the realities of death, of lacking that basic empathetic response to the family of the deceased that is bereaved, that is now forever missing an important and beloved part of their life. I feel that we're trivializing the murders. I feel that we are using the deceased as an object of their story, not a subject, that we're using them as plots in the overarching journey and, you know, character development of the criminal. I think it's kind of disgusting, and I highly dislike it. I would recommend watching as well Audra at Home's video on the same topic. I really enjoyed hers as well, and she makes some really great points. Anyway, this has been it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would love to hear your opinions on these subjects down in the comments below. Have a great morning, evening, second breakfast, or lunch, or whatever it is you're from. Bye!